Welcome back to Tom Dave's Live. Today we have Stephanie Hunt. Stephanie, how are you today?
I'm good, Tom. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, doing great. It's a beautiful day. Well, thanks for jumping on here. I really appreciate that. If you could first please share your real estate story. What inspired you to get into real estate in the first place?
Um, I, I don't switch jobs very often. I'm a pretty loyal person, and so I had my daughter in '94, and I was a single mom, and I worked for Beacons, the moving company. And I had been there for about 10 years. I handled their corporate accounts. So I'd worked with a lot of realtors with, scheduling people's moves, all that timing. I was really intrigued by that side of it versus the moving side of it. I'm a people person. I get along with everybody pretty famously. And
Yeah.
so things were just kind of, you get in a rut. And it was money. It was a job. Again, I was a single mom. And then in 2001, I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma,
Oh,
and it spread through my lymph node system, and it turned my world upside down. Still a single mom, trying to figure out how to pay the bills. I had a year of chemotherapy, and I had a phenomenal boss at the time. He worked with me with my schedule and was able to keep my insurance going, all of that. And then probably about a year or two after I finished chemo, I was still sick, still, doing the thing. Beacons closed their doors here in the Portland, actually in all of Oregon. And so it was kind of the push that I needed to get my real estate license. What do I want to do next? And I had been off of work quite a bit, trying to get healthy and being there with Taylor, my daughter, to get her to school, to, take care of myself. And so the thought of going back into a 9 to 5 per se, it just wasn't. She struggled a lot. She was only 7 years old when I was diagnosed, and it had always just been she and I. And I couldn't see myself leaving her to go back to a 9 to 5. I was alive. We were managing. And so it was kind of the push that I needed to get my real estate license. And I had known a couple of people in the business, and they had told me that I would be great at it because I'm just a people person. And so it was kind of a no-brainer. I was shocked. I was able to get my license and all the schooling done in a matter of 60 days. And I just dove in, and I've been doing it. June will be 18 years now. So,
wow. Well,
yeah.
that's awesome. And that's so honorable that you have been able to push through the challenges of life and health and be so successful. I'd like to back up just a little bit. And can you share a little bit more about yourself? Where are you from originally? And some of those things, if you don't mind.
Sure. I was born in Logansport, Indiana, but we moved here when I was little, so I know nothing about Indiana. So I like to say I'm an Oregonian because I've been here my whole 50 years. So I grew up in Southeast Portland, went to Marshall High School. That's not Marshall anymore. And I lived in Southeast my whole life. I've actually been on my own since I was 16. So, and I graduated high school, did all of it from 16 on. I've just kind of always been a fighter and a go-getter. And I had my daughter when I was 21, and I did not want her in the Portland Public School District, for lack of a better, it just wasn't that great at the time. So we moved to the West Side. And we lived in the West Side. That's when I got my license and started selling real estate. And yeah, so I've pretty much been in the Portland metro area my whole life. And I know both sides of the river very, very well, from living the first half of my life in Southeast and then the second half on the West Side. So yeah. And now I'm in Gladstone, which is kind of a hub between the two. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And I know you have a very diverse background. So if you could share a little bit of your real estate history, the different verticals and companies you work for and asset classes. And I know that you have a very diverse background. So maybe you can share that to our viewers.
Yeah, I apologize. My dogs are in the background barking. It sounds like the
Oh,
Mr.
that's okay.
He's getting them. So I started at Remax with all of the greats back then. And I was there until the market crashed. And when the market crashed in '08, I have a very dear friend who at the time and still does own a property management company. And she didn't have real estate. All she did was property management. She had been giving me a bunch of leads of her owners that were needing to short sell, that were getting, ready to go into foreclosure. And so I had been selling a lot of those, got totally versed in doing short sales. And she asked me if I wanted to join her, but in order to join her, I needed to get my principal broker's license, and we needed to start up the real estate side of things. So it was kind of a no-brainer, just the leads that were there, and I survived the crash. And so I left Remax, was a little scared to go out on my own. But I did it, and we were great. And I was there until 2018. And at that point in time, I have a dear friend that was with Premier Property Group, and she kind of kept bugging me to come over. And I was just ready for a change. I was ready to get back into a bigger company per se. And so I left and I went to PPG, and I've been with PPG until just this week. I joined EXP this week. So yeah.
That's huge. That's a big announcement. And we're honored to partner with you. If you could please share, you could have joined any real estate brokerage. What inspired you to join EXP Realty?
It's kind of funny how it all happened. We spend a lot of time in LA. We love Marina Del Rey. I'm on the board for a nonprofit in the LA area, Rock to Recovery. Also on the board for a rescue group up here, a dog rescue group, Rainbow Heart Rescue. But we spend a lot of time down there, and we had the opportunity to go down for 5 weeks in September. And we had never really spent that amount of time in Marina Del Rey. My fiance has had some health issues for the last couple of years. We've got a special needs puppy. And I just kind of started noticing that everybody was thriving down there. Sean felt great. He was, he just was happy again. And he'd kind of lost that spark since his medical stuff. And our little dogs, they just thrived. Everybody was happy. I've often thought about getting licensed down there just because of the connections and stuff that I have. But I think that in September, I really started to see that, gosh, we could make this happen and everybody could be happy and we could go back and forth. I could be licensed in California and licensed in Oregon. And right about that time, Randy Bird reached out to me. I love Randy. We've got a lot in common. He's huge in the music scene, and that's kind of what what the nonprofit is in California. He invited me to come to EXPCon. And so we went. Prior to that, when I kind of started thinking about, making the transition to California, it was like, well, unfortunately, Premier Property Group is only licensed in Oregon, Washington. So what am I going to do if I get licensed down here in California? I've had people at Remax hounding me to come back. I've been offered, Keller Williams, and I just didn't feel like they were the right fit for me. So I don't like the idea of being with Premier Property Group and somebody else in California. So that was kind of all going on in my head as I would take my daily walks. And then out of the blue, Randy invited me to the EXPCon. And it was kind of last minute notice. We got back from LA and then turned around and went right down to Vegas. We joined the EXPCon, and it blew me away immediately. I would say by day 2, I was hooked. The energy of EXP and all of you're all so welcoming and happy. And EXP's changing the world. For me, with my health, I haven't had health insurance for 3 years. I still have melanoma. Once you have it for life. It doesn't go away. I preach to everybody about getting their skin checked and all the things melanoma. I haven't had my skin checked for 3 years because I don't have health insurance. And so for me, the health insurance was huge. You guys have such a robust health insurance plan. So that right off the bat, that was for me. And then secondly, I've lived my life around my cancer. I've made a ton of money in real estate. I help people with the money that I make, but the rest of my money goes to staying healthy. It goes to being healthy. It goes to paying the medical bills. Like, it's just ongoing. And so I have not been able to save for retirement. I'm 50 years old and I'm not where I should be because I've been focusing on staying alive and paying the bills. And so the retirement options, the stock, all of it, like EXP just spoke to me in a way that I've not experienced in real estate before. So I was all in. It was a no-brainer. We got back from Vegas and I signed up right away. So right now I'm transitioning and I'm trying to take in all the things, and I'm so excited and I'm just ready to just start doing this.
Well, I love your energy ever since I met you in Vegas. And I really appreciate your honesty and openness and your vulnerability. And I really appreciate the fact that you're a fighter, you're pushing through and you're succeeding and you're surviving and then some in an amazing way. So we're just honored to partner with you. And if anyone wanted to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Stephanie?
You can always call me, text me, 971-222-7607, or email me at stephanie.hunt@exprealty.com. You can also find me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. So you can always find me. My phone's attached to my hip.
Well, thanks again, Stephanie. So great to connect and partner with you. And if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either Stephanie or myself, and we'd love to serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Take care.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.